Okay, so for our last and final project, what you're going to be doing is, one second here, you're going to be creating a, there it is, a template for a blog site. And the point of this project is to start thinking, not thinking about design in terms of individual pages, but thinking about them in terms of modules that get put together. Because the truth is, most websites don't exist as individual pages. They exist as a whole bunch of different modules that when a user clicks on a page to see the page, all those different modules get put together, and it spits out an HTML page. So a lot of the pages that you see on the internet aren't actual HTML files on a server. They're individual pieces, like the navigation bar and the footer and everything, that are pulled together from a database and stuck together. So we need to start thinking about things in terms of modularity. And a blog site is a really good example of that, because blog sites follow a certain kind of pattern. There's always going to be your header. There's always going to be a navigation. Usually there's a main featured article, something like that. There's usually a subscription to my newsletter, a form here where you add your email address. And then later on, there's the latest articles. So these would be a listing of all the different blog articles that are available on the blog. There's usually a sidebar. This thing right here would be an author bio module. Right here, this would be a social media module, or you could call them components, whatever language you want to use. This right here would be maybe like most popular articles, something like that. So you see these patterns emerge on a lot of different blogs. We'll look at another one too. Let's see, whatever else. Categories is another thing you'll see pop up a lot. Pagination down here, where it shows you, let's see. So in social media, icons are repeated up here, and then at the bottom we see a footer down here. And we can see that these things are consistent. Like if I click on a category here, again, we see these blog listings, and you notice it's the same layout as the blog listings that we saw on the homepage. So that's a style that's been established. It's a pattern that's been established and it's being repeated throughout the site. So starting to think about things in modules, this would be a module that's been set up for the site, and it gets repeated. And again, down here, the footer is the same, and up here, the nav is the same, and the header is the same. Let's look at another one. This is another one. It's a very different style, but it follows the same pattern. We've got our header and navigation, and stop. And then we've got a featured article, and then we have all these other blog listings. So these would be other blog articles that you could read. And this one seems to use just the homepage is just a lot of these listings, with some of them larger than others. And then at the bottom, we've got this footer. This is their social media one. They choose to use text instead of icons. Nothing wrong with that. Trending, these would be like the most popular categories or blog articles. Pages, this is a repeat of the navigation. Here's their Instagram, and then this down here looks like the navigation is repeated at the very bottom. So we can see that many of the features are the same. And as you go into the site, you will see that they have a subscription to an email kind of thing going on. So What you'll be doing is you'll not only be designing, and you're just going to be doing the home page. You don't have to do all of the interior pages. You're just going to be doing the home page. But you're going to be not just designing the home page, but pulling out all those features that we were looking at. I think this is a better example that has all those features, and putting them into what's called a style guide. And a style guide is a living style guide. What it is a collection of design elements. Like imagine you're working on a team with a lot of people and you're all working on this website. You would need to make sure that this module right here is consistent no matter who's working on it. So style guide would contain all of these modules, examples of all of these modules in one document. And it's kind of like they call it a living document because it's constantly being updated as the project goes on. So you should be able to, once you know, have your design down, be able to parse out all the components and put them into a style guide. So there'll be two pieces to your project. First, the blog template, and second, the style guide. And let me show you a couple style guides from students from in the past. Hold on. Here's one style guide from last semester. Huh? Oh, sí, quieres ver, está bien. Okay. Sorry, that was Joaquin. Hi. Want to say hi? No, he doesn't want to say hi. Okay. So here you can see that she's got an example of what the logo looks like. This is the favicon part of it. She's listed out her color palette with the hex numbers. She's put, these are what all the headings look like because we need to stay consistent. This is what the paragraph text will look like. These are her buttons, her social media buttons. And then the subscription form looks like this. And then she's got a navigation search bar and then an example of her footer. So these would be the components that you would have on your style guide. Let me show you another example. Let's see. Kelsey. This is her. This is Kelsey's blog template. So she starts out with a big hero image in the beginning. You scroll down and here's her navigation. It has a drop down like this. That's her navigation. And you can see her button style over here. This is her social media styles. And then here's where her blog listings are. And then down here, here's a contact. She has a contact me form. You can add, there are certain components that you need to have for this project, but you can add others if you want. This is kind of cool. She has a sort of a sidebar here with appointment availability. And then down here, she's got the email subscription module that you'll need to put in. And then she's even, so let's take a look at her style guide. It's down here. There we go, style guide. So she's showing, this is a style guide for the blog site you just saw. She's showing what the logo looks like. She's got her color palette there. These are all her headings. This is what her paragraphs are going to look like, her body copy. This is what links are going to look like. I know she has some nice transitions on there. This is the navigation bar. And these are the buttons. She has two different types of buttons, which is a good idea. You want like a primary button and a secondary button. And then this is sort of the main layout idea with the text offset from the photo. And then she's got some other sort of layout options for different sections on here. And then this is what all our blog listings look like when they're listed. So these are good examples. I'll try to link to these in the assignment description. Um, um, Make sure that you watch that video that I sent. There's a link to um, Brad Frost, I think is his name, and it's a video about the whole idea of thinking about design and modules. And so there you go. So you're doing a home page, and then from the home page, you're going to pull out elements and put them into a style guide. And be sure to read the assignment description, because it has in it all the required components. And what I really recommend is looking at as many blog templates as you can to start to understand all the components that they have. And a good resource for that is a place called themeforest.com. And these blogs that we're doing are kind of based off WordPress, which is a blogging platform. So if you go over here to WordPress and you drop this down, go to blog magazine, and you'll see a whole bunch of different blogging templates that you can browse through. These are just templates, and you're just doing a template. So you don't have to create a blog about something. And you can have dummy copy in there. You want to create a blog that suits a certain purpose. So the blogs that I was showing you before, they're just templates. They're not actual blogs. There's just something a designer put together that someone can go in and pay for and purchase this template, and then they can put their own images and content in. And you can see like this would be really good for an interior design or I don't know, real estate or something like that. That's the theme of this blog. This one over here is much different. It's probably good for like a music magazine or something like that. So you will, for your project, you're gonna kind of want to choose a theme for your blog template. Is your blog template going to be good for like cooking, or is it going to be good for movies, or is it going to be focused on sports or art or baking? I don't know. You choose your own theme for this, and you build a blog template that would think about if you had to give this template to somebody else who would want to use it for music or sports or cooking. What would they want in that template that they could use? So if you going to Theme Forest, you can see that there's a whole bunch of different types of blogs that you can take a look at. And then if you're interested in one, if you click on preview here, sometimes it takes you here. And then this company has a whole bunch of different types of templates. And let's say we want to view this one here, travel blog template. And then now we can see, now we can go in here, we can look, there's the navigation, there's the social media. It's also got this. Wow, that's fancy. Down here, blog listings, trending blogs, trending articles, most watched. So you can see that there are kind of different categories that they organize their listings in. There's the most recent articles, and then there's the most popular articles. That's a common design pattern that you see. And then they come up with other creative things to add to them. So I recommend going to Theme Forest and really looking around and see the things you layouts that you think are interesting. components that you think are interesting. There's a few components that are required for this project, and they're listed on the assignments page. But you can add in other ones that you think are um, relevant to your theme. I can't think of what else to say about this. Please, please, please reach out with any questions. And I know this is a whole new thing I'm throwing at you. And if we were in class, I'd have more time to dive into it. But watch that video, look at these examples, and please stay in contact so that I can guide you through this if you need it. I think that's all. That's it for now. Okay, thanks.